All right, let's talk about climate change as billionaire and co-founder of Microsoft, Bill Gates, has reiterated the fact that cows are the world's biggest problems and will be the biggest polluter of China and the United States. Gates, who was speaking recently on the impact of climate change at the New Economy Forum in Beijing, China, also says solar and wind are key parts of a new energy mix needed to battle climate change.
Yeah, cows, it's both the methane they emit directly, it's the manure usage, then you have fertilizer and land use. And so that sector, what year will Indonesia or Brazil or DRC not have net deforestation? And it doesn't really matter what you do in the temperate zones because the trade-off of growing trees there, people do the math, it doesn't help. This is a tropical zone game in terms of land use. Once carbon is out of the geosphere, that is being buried underneath, once it's up in the biosphere, trees die, you have forest fires, you have a 5,000-year half-life residence time of CO2. So as soon as you get things into the biosphere, you can't really say that you've got to get it back into the geosphere in order to make that multi-thousand-year promise that it's not going to be temperature forcing.
It's bizarre, isn't it? Because every government that you visit, that we visit, will say that the green industries are the industries of the future. That's what they want to invest in.
That's great. Did they increase their energy R&D budget? What approach? Who are they investing in to solve these specific problems? At the Paris climate talks, I was involved with the 25 countries committing to doubling energy R&D, which that is really good because for the long lead time stuff, that's where the solutions are going to come from. Many countries have come through. We have $5 billion of additional energy R&D since the Paris climate talks, and I am optimistic that we can bring what I call the green premium, that is the extra cost of doing things in a green way. We can bring that premium down very dramatically, which, to say to a middle-income country where India is paradigmatic, hey, you should make your electricity this way, you should make your steel this way, you should fly your planes this way. In order to be able to say that to them, you have to bring the current green premium down by about 90%. But there's many paths to get there. Many scientists who are working ideas that even with the 10% success rate, if we sort of unnaturally accelerate this by creating incentives, regulations, raising R&D budgets, I still believe we can get there.
One last question on that. If you were a government, where would you target that money?
Well, there are, different people do the taxonomy differently. There are things like cheap hydrogen, breakthroughs in transmission where you don't have to do it overhead, or you use superconducting to make it lossless. It's a reasonably finite list. The way I do it in my book, it's 14 things that you want crazy people to think through exactly how they're going to solve those things.
Bill Gates, co-founder of Microsoft, speaking on effects of climate change. Well, on that note, we draw the curtain on today's edition of the program. Thank you for being part of it. I'm Chimezie Obi. You're welcome.